Hey everyone, it's Frankie, and we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to start off with a conversation I had with Brothershipper Jason D'Agostino, and he's going to talk about the podcast that he has. So go support him and his podcast just as much as you do my podcast, Broken Kayfabe, and Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry. I am pleased to be joined here by Brothershipper Jason D'Agostino. Jason, thank you for coming and telling us about your great podcast.
Thanks for having me on, Frankie. Yeah, I'm a brother shipper with some podcasts. Travis Rains has plugged my main show a few times in the brothership, and that would be the Not Another Sports podcast. So that's a bi-weekly show I do with my best friend David. It's about an hour of us just doing the same thing we did in his parents' basement as teenagers, talking sports, and making each other laugh. And then I also have a monthly Philadelphia Phillies podcast because I am a huge Phillies fan. That is called the Philly Baseball Together podcast, and that is actually under the umbrella of a bigger podcast network. And last year, that was in the top 200 of baseball podcasts in North America.
Nice.
Yeah, I was surprised, honestly. And then my final one, I do the Punk podcast with a gentleman named Brad, who is with Baseball Together. Now, he lives out in Arizona, and over the last 2 years, we've gotten to know each other through doing podcasts and talking baseball, and we found we both love the pop punk genre of music. So that's just a half hour every week. Right now, we're on a break, but we do that 15 episodes a season, and it's really just us telling stories about our youth tied to the songs and albums of that type of music.
Very cool. So you stay kind of busy with the podcasting.
My wife said for years I needed a hobby, and now this hobby is like taking everything over.
So where can people find your podcasts?
So the Not Another Sports podcast, you can find, well, all three of them actually, you can find on Anchor.fm, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, pretty much wherever you can find them, they're there. And all three of them are also available on YouTube. God forbid anyone actually wants to watch me talk about stuff, you go and have at it.
Well, cool, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Frankie.
Willie, mercy, baby. This is Shaska Willie. You're listening to Broken Kayfabe with Frankie Seabreeze and Ariel Bologna and Cheese Sandwich. They're like Coca-Cola. They're all over, baby, on whatever network that you find it on, baby. This is Navy SEAL Body Guy, and you are listening to Broken Kayfabe with Frankie Seacrest, Ariel Agbalog, and the Brothership. Now that half-wit, Shaska Willie, better not step on this, or I will step on him, Jack. This is Redneck Steve. You're listening to Broken Kayfabe with Ariel Agbalog, Frankie Seacrest. Flap their gums about anything that they want, putting some steak on it. Oh, hell yeah.
Was that an announcer or something taking off his pants?
That was me.
That was you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm world famous.
You are?
Yep, world famous. I'm the guy in like the sequin lapels that pulls his pants off in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, keep your pants on next time though, okay? Do us all a favor.
Well, that was sort of my gimmick back in '96.
That's awesome.
I know.
Oh. So was that GIF out there already, or did you?
No, it was out there. So I think it may have been for my birthday last year. Uh-huh. Somebody commented on something or sent me a message and said, because they remember I used to do that. So I said, "Oh my gosh, where'd you get that?" They're like, "I just searched, like pants off and the GIF." And I was like,
That is tremendous.
So, welcome to Broken Kayfabe, the unofficial after show of Breaking Kayfabe with Belgian and Barry. And that, my friends, was a cold open. Ariel, I've been worried about you, buddy. I thought you were bailing on me.
Oh no, not at all. But I am. I'm here. I'm here now. It's been a while. I appreciate you worrying about me, but yeah, work has gotten to. Well, the past couple of weeks, work has gotten a bit hectic. We're also hired a bunch of new people. Like, we hired 4 new people. We had to train them, make sure they didn't mess up, and then already like week number 3 or 4 or whatever this how long they've been working, they're already slacking off, and it's getting annoying. But this couple of days have been a little bit slow, so I'm wondering how the weekend's gonna look like, and also the rest of the rest of the couple of months, because we were supposed to be a lot more busier than we are right now, and it's kind of concerning. I know that they canceled some orders for some microchips, and they increased orders for some other ones. So we'll see how that goes. Sometimes it gets scary in the tech industry. Everyone's like, oh, well, the economy's bad right now. As work is slowing down, so people start thinking the worst. But hopefully everything will be okay.
What about you? You're pretty optimistic. You're a pretty optimistic guy. But, if we're going to be transparent here, you said, man, I just don't feel like recording.
Yeah, I was tired. And, I mean, stuff going on with other things too in life. But, yeah, there were times when I just didn't want to. Like, I was so lazy. I didn't want to.
Well,
I had nothing to talk about, and I wasn't going to be, at my best. So.
dude, I know that. I know that feeling. I mean, that's kind of like me every single day of my life.
Really? Come on. You have it good. Yeah. You live on the beach.
True.
You have a beautiful family, a wonderful wife, and you have a lot of things that other men wish they had. Good looks.
You know what? Let me say this. So do you, though, Ariel. So do you. There's a lot of men who are married who would rather not be, but they don't want to give up half of what they got to be in your situation, where the only thing you really got to do is spend time with your family and work your ass off.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's true.
So you know what? The grass is always greener. All right. Some of the places, maybe not just on the other side, but there's someone who is looking at you going, I envy that guy.
The grass is always greener in somebody else's yard. Your yard, my yard.
Right?
Right.
So let me just tell you, since we're talking about, grass and greener and shit, let's talk about what I did this weekend. I just went on a nice 4-day cruise.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a Jericho cruise, was not a wrestling related cruise. It was Thursday to Monday, and it was amazing. It was exactly what I needed, except when I got back, I was tired. I felt sick, so much so that I felt pretty sick today. And when you record, I was like, gosh, I really didn't want to go sit and talk. However, because I've missed you and haven't talked to you in like 3 weeks, I sucked it up. Wow. That's what I did.
That's dedication. This is why we are who we are. And the kind of podcast, the kind of content we put out, sure, it's not, it's very unprofessional. And we're kind of suck at this.
I really suck. Everybody's always bragging about how great you are. So I was like, damn, if I got to replace this guy, who could I get?
Everybody else, anyone else.
Trust me, nobody wants to have a 45-minute conversation with me once a week. Not even my wife and kids.
How about Shard?
Shard, no, he used to do radio apparently.
Oh, Okay.
And well, he's definitely got a face for it, but he said that it wasn't like great quality enough for him. He's kind of a radio snob. He wants the remote set up, where you go to a location. Oh, hey, here we are at Hooters. Come on down to Hooters on Route 69. He wants that kind of stuff, and I can't provide that for him. He's a bit of a diva. But one thing that I did want to talk about wasn't my luxurious cruise travels. I wanted to talk about something very, very important, and that is the CWF Legends Fan Fest Brothership sponsorship. Because once again, I'm asking for your donation. See, I'm a meme. I'm a living meme. I just did the Bernie Sanders there. Once again, I'm asking for donations. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. So anyway, and I know that Jeff and Barry just mentioned it on the podcast that came out Tuesday. Did you happen to listen yet?
Yes, I did.
Oh, very good. So you heard Jana and I talk about it. So I did want to take just another minute or two just to talk about it before we go to this wonderful conversation I had with our friend William Meriwether. So let me tell you about the CWF Legends Fan Fest. So November 5th is the Fan Fest. It's an awesome time. And the reason that my wife and I started doing this was because a year ago at the one in November, we had the best time, and there was some people who we thought were going to make it that did not make it. And a lot of people were disappointed. They're like, oh, we were expecting this person to be here or this person. And so we said, you know what? We know that it's not a cheap thing for most people, right? We're lucky that we live an hour away, so we don't have to spend money on airfare. If we really wanted to be cheap bastards, we wouldn't have to spend money on hotel. My wife is very frugal, and so we could probably eat for cheap too, but we decided to, have the experience of eating with the boys and girls. So anyway, after hearing these people disappointed that some of the brother shippers couldn't show up on the way home, my wife and I said, why don't we just, sponsor a person and we'll bring one. So that's what we started doing. And this past June was the first ever recipient of the Joe Christie Memorial CWF Legends Fan Fest sponsorship, where we brought Jason Ward all the way from up in the Pacific Northwest to come down to Florida. First time he had flown since, I think, the 90s. And he had a great time, and we are looking forward to doing that again. So let me just say this. If you are interested, we've made posts in the Breaking Kayfabe with Baldwin and Barry group. You can find that. You can also message me, Facebook, Frankie Secrets. That's my name. You can message Ariel. He'll tell you. Message Frankie.
Yeah.
And it's real easy. You just go, there's a Google form. It takes just a couple minutes to fill out. And we're just asking really simple questions. And come August the 8th, we'll close. We will not take any more applications. And then on August 15th, we'll make our announcement of who we will bring.
Very good. Excuse me. Sorry about that. You could edit that one out.
Oh yeah, no worries. So anyway, it's something that I'll say in June it was the best one that we've been to, not just with the talent, but with the guys hanging out and the conversations. So if you're on the fence of whether you should come or you shouldn't, if you've had extraordinary circumstances and you think, hey, I'd like to see if I can get picked to come to this, and sadly we can only pick one. Last year we did pick two. However, one of those people had a medical emergency and couldn't show up. So we only ended up bringing one. So we'll bring one, and then sometime soon we'll take donations. And when we get enough money to bring a second person, we'll bring a second person.
Awesome. That is so, I've said it before the last time. It's so great of you. And excuse me. I can't talk right now. Sorry. But it's both of you are so great to be doing this again for the Brother Shippers. And everyone get those applications in. Deadline is what, August 8th, you said?
Yes, correct.
August 8th. Get that. That's a couple weeks away. That's like, what, 3 weeks away?
I believe
2 weeks away.
Yeah, 2
That's
weeks. Yep.
About 2 weeks away. Time's going to go by quickly. So get your applications in and good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. And I'll break a little kayfabe here. We've only got 2 people so far.
Okay. Well, hopefully there's more.
I hope so. However, it is very difficult. It is very difficult for Jan and I to narrow it down. But maybe we can get the brother shippers, and if there's only 2, then maybe we can get the brother shippers chip in, and we can have actually 2. But let's go to a conversation that I had a couple weeks ago with William Meriwether. This is going to be a short one, and really great guy. He is also a very tall guy. All right, here goes my conversation with William Meriwether. Everyone, it's Frankie. I am pleased to be joined here by William Meriwether. William, I reached out to you because you have been posting some fun stuff about your recent trip to AEW, and I wanted to hear about it from you, visually and vocally, I guess.
Oh, good, because when you said I've been posting stuff, I was like, how'd you know? I'm just kidding. Yeah. I went to a show Wednesday to see Dynamite, and they taped Rampage and Dark and stuff, and it was really fun. It was fantastic.
Where was it?
Rochester, New York. About an hour and a half where I'm at now. I'm in Horseheads, New York, upstate.
Okay.
The Finger Lakes region, if you will.
Gotcha. Yep. I watch a lot of true crime, so I do know of a story there on the Finger Lakes.
Yeah, we're a lot of crime up here. We're just bored, I guess, and want to kill each other.
I didn't know you were up near Joe.
Yeah, not too far away from. He was actually, the arena we went to was about 10 minutes away from where he was at, give or take. Not the hospice, but the hospital he was at.
So I haven't been to a big production show in many years. Actually, let me try and think. 97, 98, WCW Nitro, and probably Winston-Salem. I don't remember exactly either. Winston-Salem or Greensboro. So it was Rampage and what else tapings?
Dark and Dynamite.
Okay. So how long was the show in total?
About 3 hours, because about 3.5 maybe. It started at 7 and we got done about 10:30, 11ish. So
wow.
It was almost 4 hours. It was pretty long.
Now, were there any, going into the building, were there any I don't know, gimmick tables? I guess there was merchandise stands.
Yeah, there was. I didn't get anything personally because it was pretty crowded when I tried to go a couple times, and I'm a big boy, so none of their shirts are going to fit me anyway.
Yeah.
Unless they have like a 40 slip, a 6XL, large, tall. It's just not going to work. So I usually order all my stuff like that.
Okay, cool. It looked like you had really good seats.
I did. I got lucky. It was funny because on Ticketmaster they go from on the floor they go from $100 to $1,300. And I was like, what is going on? So I went to StubHub, sort of like a third party deal, and got lucky and found a couple really good floor seats not near where they kind of come down the ring, and they were not too expensive, so it worked out well. I went with my cousin. He drove down and stuff, and so I paid for the tickets, and I figured I made up for it. And yeah, they were really decent, better than I expected, to be honest. Because looking at the floor layout, it's hard to tell. And I've been in that arena, but it's been a long time. So
what was the last thing you saw in that arena?
Oh man, what was it? It was a concert. I want to say a 9 Inch Nails concert, I think.
Wow, it's a big difference, huh? 9 Inch Nails to AEW.
I was in the nosebleed. It was my former brother-in-law's bachelor party, my ex's brother-in-law. So it was a long time ago.
So 9 Inch Nails, was it like the Closer?
They did that. It was a little later on. It was like that ghost stuff where he was leaving weird MP3s in the toilet. And 9 Inch Nails is fine, but I'm not going to reach my hand through a toilet for many, many bands. I mean, maybe Steely Dan or P-Funk or Pink Floyd, but there's a lot of bands I'm not going to stick my hand in the dirty old used public, arena toilet for a lot of things,
I didn't know that was a thing. I never heard that.
Really weird viral stuff with him, dropping it in random places. And I don't know. I think he eventually released it like quote unquote normally, but yeah, he was doing all kinds of weird stuff. How they were sending like you could find it in random spots at the concert venue, but I didn't look that hard. Full disclosure, it was a cool concert. It was really neat, but I didn't. I mean, I like him just fine, but I don't. Not digging through toilets like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So let's get back to the AEW.
Yes, sir.
Since you're a brother shipper, what was the food like?
The food was good. I am on kind of a diet now. I cut my carbs, which I know is kind of anathema to what we do in the brothership, and it's tough for me too because I love food, you know, more than my family. Don't let them hear. I love them. I'm just kidding, but I do love it a lot, and so it's been tough. But I did have what was it? It was a hot dog, and it was pretty decent. You know, one of those Nathan style, so it was pretty good. It was one of those plump suckers, but I didn't go too fancy, and they didn't really have any. I mean. They didn't have like a restaurant that I saw in the venue, but it's kind of in a hurry to get there in the seats. So, yeah, I had like one of those Nathan hot dogs and a couple beers. I didn't really go too crazy because, again, I cut the carbs. But yeah, I didn't see anything outside of usual fare, like nothing too special.
Yeah, well, I am also dieting. I and my wife, we decided to do Noom. There was a guy that she works with that he did Noom and exercise, and I don't know, he lost 100 pounds in a year or something like that.
Oh, no. That's cool.
Yeah, and so she showed me his before and after pictures, and she says, "I think I want to do it." I said, "Well, great, I'll do it with you." And so the first week, I'm down 4 pounds.
Oh shoot!
And a good thing about it is like it's psychology, you know, and they give you all these tips every day, you know, of what to eat, and you know, they let you eat the junk food, you just limit it. And so, you know, they break it up into, you got green where you can eat all the green stuff that you want, you know, green color. So you could eat like berries, and you can eat all the berries that you want because they're green. Actually, this multi-grain bread that we have is green. So we can eat all of that bread that we want. And then, then you get orange, you eat limited of that, but then you have the red, which is like the red beans and I don't know, probably like bologna and shit would also be red and for them, and you get limited, like 800 calories a day of that. And so I feel good. I was a little down on my energy the first couple of days. I didn't feel hungry at all, and I was under my caloric intake. But this morning I was down 4 pounds in the first week. So
that's awesome. That's the thing, is the hunger thing is the toughest thing, you know, when you're hungry, especially at nighttime. For me, it hits me hard and it's weird. And I'm like, but I've been doing pretty good about just eating like fruit. I've cut most of the carbs except for like fructose and like fruit stuff.
Yep.
I don't really have any like outline diet. It's just the specter of death floating over me. So that kind of makes it easy for me to diet. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm the same. So I went to the, my wife's been gone for 2 days, and her office is right by the refrigerator. And so I went and poked my head in, and she said, "Grab some of them grapes." And I said, "Okay, all right, I'll do that." I mean, I don't know that we got rid of the, you know, unhealthy stuff. So I don't know what she thought I was going to grab, but then like I got hungry a couple hours later, and I had a Greek yogurt, non-fat Greek yogurt, and then I threw a bunch of blackberries on top of it. And it's going to hold me over, you know, for until dinner. And eating a lot of chicken. Chicken is green, so you can eat all the chicken that you want. So anyway, so that's the food situation. We talked about the merch situation, and so what did they start off with? Did they start off with any dark matches?
Yeah, they do the dark first, and it's kind of some of the people I have heard of vaguely, and like Orange Cassidy came out for a minute and did like a little, you know, well, I can't say anything because he does this I don't care gimmick, but he comes out and kind of just walked out there and like shrugged his shoulders and walked away with his hands in his pockets. I mean, Jim Cornette would have loved that. It was like a big fucking, pardon my French, but there was a couple matches with some folks that I just can't remember without looking right now but they were okay. I kind of walked in sort of, that's kind of why I rushed the merch table. I was kind of in a hurry to get to my seats. And so I went in and kind of called like the last 20 minutes of dark. And then we went up to get in between the shows before Dynamite started, I went to get a beer. And I came back, and there was these 2 little kids there. It was amazing, like this 13-year-old kid. And one of them had MJF scarf. So I had a little soft spot for him. But I go up to the kid and I'm like, you're sitting in our seats. And it's funny because when we left, I did see them coming, but he's like, well, you were sitting in our seats. When you guys got up to leave, we just took our seats back. And I'm like, no, right here it says. And I showed him like I had the picture on my phone. I was like, see? So I asked the guy next to him, this nice guy, and I was like, hey, what's your seat number, brother? Sorry to bother. He's like, FL10. And I was like, well, I'm at FL9 and my cousin's here at FL8. So we got the thing. And the kid like legit was sitting there like he wasn't going to budge. And I'm like, what do I do? The kid's like, he's a kid. I can't yank him out of the seat like I would like your average person. Well, I'm a nice guy, but like if that's my seat. But finally, the usher, this really nice young girl, was like, can I help you? And I was like, yeah. I mean, these kids aren't leaving the seat. So she pointed out to him that they were in fact in the wrong seats. So they finally got up and left. But with one kid, man, he wasn't gonna leave. He wasn't gonna leave until I was like, brother, come on, you got to go, buddy. So he finally got up and left. But then later on, a couple beers in, I didn't go crazy. But like about 3 of those bigger, tall boys, you're like, you're feeling all right because you're kind of like friendly. And so I saw the kid. They must have been like, somehow got on the floor and they're bouncing around seats to get better view or whatever. I'm not sure that's how it worked out. But I saw him. I was like, what up, brother? No hard feelings, right? And he stuck his fist up to give me like a dap. So I gave him a little knuckles, and it was cute. But I also, like, when I was there, it was a lot of camaraderie. Like, I met all these guys and stuff because, of course, I'm out yelling corny stuff because I'm an idiot. And they're all laughing and stuff. And, like, we start talking. And, the one guy, I'm a social worker, but I used to do direct care with, individuals with disabilities. And the one guy's like, I do that for a living and blah, blah, blah. And so, we were chatting a little bit. And it was really nice. That's kind of camaraderie, or however you say it.
Yeah.
The kind of the brothership, if you will, there. They, very much like the brothership. Like, when I first, what really kind of made me, I joined the mothership group, and I did have the question talked about on the one episode of the 605, but that's all right, Brian. Don't give me credit. Don't give me my name. It's fine. I'm not better. I'm just kidding. I'm not really better. Maybe a little, but so they talked about my big question in the forum, but I like participating in that nerdy stuff. But then all of a sudden, my mom passed away in 2018, and like everyone in the brothership just reached out to me. It was fantastic, and it was like, wow. And I started adding like people like maybe I didn't meet them in person like yourself, but boy, everything, just have a lot in common, really, interests. Like, it's funny you tell me about your wife kind of doing thing when she left, because I saw your post how she left all these little lists of what to do, like all the notes, and that made me laugh because that's totally how my wife rolls with me, because she knows I'm a knucklehead. Not saying that you are, but I definitely am. She will.
Totally am. And knucklehead is our word that we use to describe each other. If my kid screws up something, I'll say, oh, that was a knucklehead move, or oh, you're being a knucklehead, and that's totally us. That's totally me.
That is absolutely me to a T. I lose stuff right now. I just lost a check that my wife got for a graduation party, so I'm searching through that. I'm sure I have it somewhere, but I whatever, I'll find it. But
huge joke in our house is like everything is in my pockets.
Yeah,
because
I'm sure I stuck it somewhere for safekeeping, and then I can't find it. But so anyway, like, that was really a tough time because I was close to my mom. I was a mama's boy. I mean, I love my dad and stuff, but I'm a mama's boy. He's in the group, so if he hears this, I love you, Dad. You know that. But I'm a mama's boy, and it was tough for me. But all those people that I've never even met before, maybe joking about wrestling, and they reached out, and it was just like, hey, these guys are my friends. So I just kind of started doing that, and I feel like we kind of broke the sort of a groundbreaking thing because we all became friends online, and we may have not have met. So I want to get to a fan fest soon because we may have not have met in real life, but I really made a lot of friendships, and that was pretty cool. In a tough time in my life, and it kind of got me through just joking and laughing about a bunch of stuff through the last couple of years. It was fantastic. So that's why the brothership is always kind of a nice, special place for me. As far as all the other groups, that's my number one, because all the buddies I got, like like yourself and all the other guys that we may not have actually met up, quote unquote, in real life, but there's some real friends.
Man, I was thinking about that this week. It's like every time I go to the fan fest, I meet more and more people that I wish that, and it's like Reggie Harp. I don't think he's real active in the brothership, but he's over on the 605 a lot.
Yeah.
He's Mr. 605. I saw him on the way out, and talked to him for just a second, had him on the podcast just a minute. But I was like, man, I wish I'd spent more time talking to Reggie and getting to know him over that weekend. And my wife just gave me good news today. She said we were booking our room and then the room for the person that we're bringing into town, like we were Joe and Tony Botts, and we ended up doing just for Jason Ward. But and she said, "You want to go there Thursday night?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I'm going to be there Thursday night, and then Friday night, and then Saturday night, and then we'll leave Sunday morning. So I'm super excited that I have another night to hang out with the brother shippers, because, man, it's so there's not a boring time at all. And if you think that's going to be, then next thing you know, in comes someone around the corner that you haven't met, or you haven't had a chance to talk to, or someone just come and sit down with you, and you start chatting.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. What do the kids call it now? FOMO, fear of missing out. I have a lot of that when I watch you guys, and I'm like, that's awesome. But at the same time, it's like, I got to get down there because I see you guys having a good time and all this stuff. And I definitely need, because I want to meet everybody too. You know what I mean? Like, once I'm definitely that kind of guy that I'd like to think I'm a lot of fun. I'm getting old and sad, but I still think I got a little bit left in the tank to be semi crazy in a of course safe, organized way, because I'm too old to get in trouble. But I think that I really would have a good time going down there. And I think my biggest issue would be, I want to meet everybody and see everybody. And of course, I have some friends I talk to a little bit more than others, but it's like, man, I want to get everybody in, because so many good friends that over the years that have kind of formed these relationships, even if they're just online.
Yeah. It's it's on the cusp of life changing for me, and I guess it probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't want to say it's life changing, because it's I think it diminishes like the larger other events in your life that are life changing. So like meeting my wife, that's changed my life. But being able to have the friends in the group that I have, and then being able to hang out with them in person and spend the weekend, on and off with the people, so I'm on the cusp of introvert and extrovert. I can go and be the life of the party, or I can be over there just listening to everyone else talk and getting a kick out of it. Right. And so to be able to have that freedom, like, hey, okay, well, I want to go up and relax in the room for a minute and then come back down or whatever. It's just absolutely awesome for me. And the rooms in this place are super nice. I was so shocked, to be honest. I mean, you think a place that's going to host a bunch of wrestling marks wouldn't be as nice, but they're all kings with suites. So you've got the living room sitting area, king bed, and then you got the pull out couch that's in there too. So you and some buddies could heal a room if you wanted to, and it was really cool to hear a couple guys do that.
Yeah, Kevin offered, good old Diggy there. He offered me to do that, and I think if I do, and I don't bring the family, because I know my family would be really mad at me if I go to Florida without them. So I might do the Zaha thing and bring the family. But if I don't and I do that, I probably would heal a room with him, because he's offered before. And he kind of said, hey, if you can't afford a hotel, I was like, well, it wasn't about the price so much as I just can't get down there. I just got too much going on and stuff. But I know if I probably would have to bring the family, which would be fine. That's fine. They're pretty crazy. But
how many do you have?
I have an older stepson, but he's down in North Carolina right now. He kind of does his thing, and it was
we're at North Carolina.
Boy, I wish I could tell you right now without looking it up, because
we're from Wilmington, over on the coast.
Boy, where is it? I should know, because he just moved back. And I have a 18-year-old who he's graduated last year, and he finally kind of got a job, but that's a whole different story. But it's like, come on, kid. But anyway, and then I have a 10-year-old little girl who is 6'2". She's definitely daddy's little girl. So she's going to be in middle school next year, but she's also like the little overachiever. So I'm not sad about that. We went to her graduation, and she won like every award, except every award in the except for the one that gave you a free meal at an fancy Italian restaurant. But I'm still mad at her about that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, she won a bunch. It was really weird because my boys, God bless them, they might win one thing, but really it's like we would sit there like, oh, this girl's winning everything. But then they actually have be the parent of that girl. It's an interesting feeling of like, haha. And then you're like, oh man, every other parent's probably like the same thing I went through. And I was like, oh, disgusting. But you know what? Haters gonna hate, right? So
That's what Chris says.
that's right. So he knows the deal. People hate on him all the time because let's face it, he's not an attractive man. But we love him. You know what I mean? I gotta zing him a little bit because that's what we do. But yeah, that's my kids. I mean, she's a good kid, and my son's a good boy. He just kind of needs to do something with his life. But I mean, I remember at that age, I was kind of dicking around too, like trying to figure it all out. And I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up, what I want to be when I grow up. But what are you gonna do? I mean, I I definitely tried everything when I was a kid. I was a wrestling school dropout. Actually, right near the area we were at watching the show. It's funny because it's like I'm going to run into somebody that was at the wrestling school, and I didn't, but I did, see some folks, and like Brody Lee was hip tossed me a long time ago. I mean, this is like 20 years ago, obviously, and he was Big Rig Brody Lee back then in Rochester, upstate New York stuff, and I went to school for a couple of months, but I dropped out because I was kind of too old. I waited too long. I must have been 26, 27, and I had my stepson at the time, and I drive from Buffalo to Rochester, like Lockport, New York, which is like a half hour above, like from Niagara Falls and Buffalo. And I would drive from there to Rochester every day after a full-time job. And I know Mick Foley did it going to Cortland and stuff, but I guess I wasn't made of that stuff because, to go there and just kind of get beat up and stuff because, they don't want you to think it's any kind of easy cakewalk. It's fake or anything like that. And, when you do 100 hack squats, it's like, it ain't fake, you know what I mean? It hurts. And like even a flat back bump sucks because it feels like getting kicked in the gut. But you get used to it, don't get me wrong, but it hurts. It's always going to be something. But long story short, the other thing too is like, holy shit, you're so big. You're almost 7 foot tall. We'll let you go for free. And I did for a couple of months. And then they pulled this, well, we'll pay you back at a show, but we need to start charging. And they want to charge me like $500 a month to do it, which isn't a hell of a lot of money when you think that like some kids are paying $2,000 for wrestling school. But, I didn't have that kind of money. And I was like, this is, it's always a carny business. And when they have to like a bunch of nice guys, but like half the locker room was passing pills around and stuff like that. And it was a weird scene. So, at my age, I was like, I can't do this. And, I of course, you always had that little bit of like regret of like, man, maybe I should have stuck with it. Cause, but at the same time, I don't think I was agile enough to be anything but like a big man wrestler. And I like the business too much. I love wrestling. I don't want to go out there and be Onos or what the hell his name is there, the guy that they call Almost. Because that's probably what I would be because I'm just not that agile and I look like a big doofus. And, I don't want to be Giant Gonzalez 3.0 or something. That'd be embarrassing because I like the business too much,
Well, I think of my short stint in the business, and I'm so glad that I didn't get called up to any of those and be around all the pills and stuff that was going on in the late 90s.
Yeah,
I'm so thankful because I probably would have fell for that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's easy to fall for. Trust me. I mean, it's there, and you just want to be cool and this and that. And the next thing you know, oh, okay, it's a bad scene. But again, I don't want to bash anybody who does it or anybody who did it because I said we got Brody Lee out of it and all that other stuff. I mean, he was already a star then, though. Like, don't get me wrong, he was already pretty well established and like once or twice, and he was a nice guy. But again, everybody wants to beat the big guy up, and I don't mean that in a mean way, but it's like everyone wanted to show me that just because you're a big guy doesn't mean you can beat it. And like, I never thought that, man. I love wrestling, that's why I wanted to do it. I don't think you suck. I don't think you guys are fake idiots. I don't want to mess with it. I just want to learn some stuff, and I did, but unfortunately, I wasn't there long enough to learn much at all, and I kind of would, but again, it's not really like something I said about like, oh, I could, because again, I wouldn't have been much because I'm not really the most agile guy. I'm a big guy, but you ain't gonna see me doing no freaking. I'm scared of heights. For being 7 foot tall, almost, I'm terrified of heights. You ain't gonna see me jump off the top rope because that shit's scary.
So back to the AEW. So how was it in between the switching of the shows? Was there a big lag, or did they do something to keep the crowd up? Or
it was they did. It's funny because on the post today in the Brothership, there was a little controversy about Aubrey Edwards, and she definitely knows how to get herself over, but she would do it like the commercial breaks or switching the shows, and now and again as I was kind of picking on her. I realized, when I was watching Dynamite, she didn't really make much. She did a good job being the usual referee, not doing the mugging and the craziness but in between at the end, she came in the like, during the breaks and stuff, or while they were switching shows, and came out with Justin Roberts and was doing like the Hulk Hogan, and putting the stuff by her like Aubrey Edwards, and it was like a real huge deal where she got herself over. And then during Dynamite, if you watch it tonight, or she's all over the place, just kind of mugging it. But I think she kind of knows how to pick her spot, like any talented. So I guess I'm sorry, I'm off tangent again, but to answer your question, it really wasn't that long. But it was probably about like 5 minutes, so it wasn't a huge long time. Maybe 10, but between the commercials, it's like 90 seconds, and that's where I ended up with the John Moxley thing. But I don't know if you want to ask that question later on, but
well, let's go right into it. So it was a picture of you and John, like out by the bathrooms, right? Or
yeah, I just go to pee and get it. I went to go get another beer and pee because I knew it was like, I was like, I'll get there by the main event because you're doing commercials, and I come out and John Moxley's pacing up and down the hallway, spitting out water and shit, and like doing crazy stuff. And the guy's like, "Hold on a minute." And I was like, "What? What's going on?" And he's kind of like doing his intense thing where he's going up and down the hallway, and I'm right there. And I'm like, "Go!" I said something like lame or smart. I was like, "Go get him, champ! Kill him," or something like that. And that's when I took the picture, like him nodding at me. But he was just super intense. And then finally, like, "All right, you can go." And they let him go out the thing, and I'm like, walking right behind him, kind of like, just holding my thing, just chilling, going back to my seat. And it's really funny because the cameraman, I don't think they put that scene in the actual product, but the cameraman puts the camera like right in front of me, like right by me. And like, of course, I make a dumb face because, that's probably, it is what it is. But I'm walking there right behind him, like, okay, I'm definitely going to be on TV now because we were joking about being on TV. And next thing you know, Steven Jaworski, Crankmaster J, what's up, brother? Shout out to my boy Crankmaster J. He cranked out a little thing when I saw William Meriwether on wrestling because he watches every wrestling show like a religious, like fanatic. Like I got to roast him because it's terrible taste in music, but he's my dude. And it was really nice that he, did that because I wondered, I was like, I bet I'm going to be on TV. And he posted that kind of live as it was going on. I was like, oh shit, I really was. And you watch the actual video, it's kind of lame, but there is an extra scene you don't see in the YouTube clip where I'm walking the other direction, and you can see me for like an extra 2 seconds or so, like 0.5 seconds probably. But I got because that's wrestling. But yeah, so it was kind of fun.
Did he post that in the Breaking Kayfabe group?
Yeah, he posted in the Breaking Kayfabe and in that Booking the Territory group.
Okay, I didn't see that. I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, and it happened kind of right when he was right when it was happening, so it was really nice to know it actually made it. But of course, I had visions of being right behind him, like in his entourage in my head, and then I watched the clip, and it's like you just see this fat tall guy in the background a little bit, and then I'm going the other direction. It's like, whatever. I'm still a national TV star. If Chris Zaha can brag about the Batmobile, I can brag about being a national TV star. And I met Kevin Nash first, so whatever, Chris.
So was there I remember back like in the Raw days, or there would be like an off-air main event. Was there one of those like afterwards?
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. It was so nice. They brought, it wasn't a main event, but FTR came down. Orange Cassidy and Lawyerhausen they were in the ring still. And they all came down, and they brought Brody's family in and his wife and everything. And of course, Tony came down, and they made a big deal about that. And they made his kids go out and pose in the top, the corner, the turnbuckles in the top rope. And it was super cool. And, and FTR just kind of, Dax just cut a big promo. I don't know if that made TV at all, because I have not, believe it or not, I have not even watched the show yet. I mean to, but I just haven't. But Dax cut a big promo on, why he's glad to be a professional wrestler. And one of the guys that was really a good friend of him was Brody Lee. And so, it was fantastic because everybody likes the FTR because they're legit. Like, they're the real deal. And it's basically what he's saying. And then they brought the family out. And while it wasn't a match, it was a really nice spot. And Tony was there too. And, I know people give Tony a hard time, but, you give me Tony or Vince McMahon, I'm going to take the cokehead over the sociopath any day. So I'm fine with Tony, you know what I mean? It was really entertaining. And it seems to me like, I'm sure he might be doing the good look thing for publicity, but at the same time, it doesn't seem as, God, Stephanie came out and said, oh yeah, we do this because it's a good look for our company, the Connor's Cure stuff. And it's like, Jesus, tell me you're a sociopath without being one, Steph. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, she said, philanthropy is the new marketing.
Yeah. And it's like, wow. I guess you're not hiding it. You're not burying the lead there, you psycho. But
yeah,
it's pretty disgusting, where I think Tony might come from a genuine love of the business. He, is he a money mark? Whatever. So be it. So is Conrad. Who cares? But if they're using their finances for good, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? I don't understand the whole, why it's such an issue with that guy. I don't get it. That's, I guess, why I posted what I did today, because it's like, why does wrestling have to be tribal? I mean, the WWE sucks now, but I'll watch it once in a while if something I like. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care. I'm not beholden to any brand. I just don't like Vince McMahon because he's a piece of shit. But I think the whole world's figuring that out now if they didn't know already. But at the same time, I'm not going to hold it against the wrestlers. You know what I mean? And
Right.
AEW, I find is more entertaining. The big disappointment for me was that, and I knew it was going to happen because whatever the hell's going on. But I'm a huge MJF fan because I love the heels. I always have when I was a kid. What really got me into it was watching. I would get TBS on on the cable channel, and I'd watch Crockett, and that's when Piper was kind of finishing up, and he was a good guy then. He was fighting Greg Valentine and shit, but he'd come out and say some crazy shit, and I was like, this guy's amazing. But then he went on to WWF, and of course was full heel and the greatest heel of all time, and like, he just blew my mind how entertaining he was. And I remember being on the playground chasing all the other kids around, cutting Piper. Like, it was like, I think Brian Last said, it's like, you act like Piper, but nobody could pull it off like him. You know what I mean? But so I always like those kind of heel, characters are really entertaining. And MJF is just, he's just so entertaining. He's so young. I mean, the guy's only 26, and it's like, holy shit, he's got a huge future. So again, I was, I knew he wasn't going to be there. It was a little disappointing, but I like AEW because of stuff like that, and of course CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and stuff like that. Just a lot of guys I like that are really, that they kind of, instead of TNA taking sort of like the cast-offs that nobody wanted, even though I still have a soft spot for TNA, I still find it entertaining. Like, I watch it once in a while. I know Jaworski also really is a big booster of that stuff, and a lot of other guys, but I think it's entertaining. I've stuck by TNA for years, and I used to buy the $10 pay-per-views back when a long time ago.
Wow.
I got sick with Jeff Jarrett was doing the same thing Triple H was doing. Like, that time period was like the promoter, the family of the promoter or the promoter just putting themselves over so much. And like, God bless Triple H. Is he a great worker? Yeah, but he's like, what's that old saying? Even Cornette said he's like the carpenter who can sort of put the guy over, but he's not, he's not Stone Cold or Rock. He's just not that level of a star, but he sure thought I did. So every time elaborate WrestleMania entrance and spit out his water, I mean, just a complete douchebag. But I got to give him credit for a live show. I did go to a house show and watched him, and I was like, to be honest with you, it was probably like 6 or 7 arena beers back then because I was a younger man, stupider. And so I was, he's the main event, I think, and of course I'm there flipping him off, going, "Fuck you," blah blah blah, and he's like, "Fuck me, fuck you," and it was really neat. So he did like a little interaction with me. So I got a soft spot for that because at least he did some fan service stuff. But he is, and again, it's pretty obvious that he knows how to book a show. If he keeps himself out of it, he knows what the hell he's doing. So all this craziness in Vince McMahon land, I hope, can turn into him being, turning the show into something like it was with NXT, because that was some good shit. I mean, Tommaso Ciampa, all that stuff, it was fantastic.
Right. NXT went next level when they started bringing in the indie guys.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it got weird, and I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah.
Whether it was health issues or some kind of weird thing with Vince, but they ruined it, and it just, it's weird. I mean, there's some good stuff here and there. Finn Balor, I guess, or what they call him, Prince. I know he's Prince again a little bit, but it's not Prince Devitt, of course. But whatever's going on, I mean, that's okay. But most of it's just like, come on. And I know, having him back with it, I think is a great thing. And I'm so sorry, Frankie. I guess I'm all over the place tonight. We're just tangents.
No, man. No. You've been great. So, every week I want to have like a new brother shipper on, or a brother shipper. And so sometimes it's hard to get people that want to come on and talk. So anytime I've got someone that's like, can give me 30 minutes of content, I'm super happy, because now I don't have to worry about it for another week.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Anytime, you are welcome to come on and chit chat about whatever. Chris Saha, Travis Raines, they've come on just a couple times to chit chat, and I enjoy it whenever they do. Matt Crowder's been on a bunch of times.
That's a guy I'd like to meet in person, because I mean, Travis and Andrew Samuels, those guys have pretty much the same sense of humor and very similar music taste to me. I mean, Andrew's a little more punky and independent, but I respect that and I'll listen to anything. But those are guys that, like, man, they're so fucking funny. You know what I mean?
Drew was freaking hilarious at FanFest.
I mean, obviously, and it's like, if I got to hang out with him, we'd probably have everybody dead, like, laughing, because he's so funny.
Oh, my gosh, man.
Like, but it's something I wish I really want to meet him in person. And you know, and I'm so far away. All those guys are kind of clustered in the Midwest and stuff, and they're lucky enough. And my boy Mike Carrick, that's my dude right there. I mean, he's my soulmate. He's my brother from another mother, you know, and like he's one of the guys like, man, this guy really likes almost everything I do, whether it's nerdy stuff, food, and it's like, man, it's like this guy really is like
and the nicest guy in the world, man. He is the nicest.
He really is, you know what I mean? And it's like, man, and to kind of go off the Joe thing, we have a little group chat. I think you were a part of for a little while.
Yeah.
And it was the Rock and Randy's group, which started off. It's funny. It's a long story, but good old Josh Dunn, a great guy. But I just added a bunch of people. My buddy who lives near here, his name's Rick, and he had a wrestling group that he started, and I just invited all the wrestling buddies because it's wrestling. But like Josh and Andrew would kind of shit post some funny stuff, which I don't give a shit about. It made me laugh, but he made me the admin. But he was kind of running it, and he kind of ended up kicking them out, or they left, or whatever. But anyway, they kind of formed a little, you know, Josh formed a splinter group called Rock and Randy's, and Drew did one called the Father Boat, because it was called what was I can't remember what the original group was called now, because I don't think I mean, I might still be the admin, but no one ever posts there. So I'll have to ask those guys that. But anyway, they both have hilarious groups that were exciting, but the Rock and Randy's thing kind of spun off of the one group that Josh came up with. And so we had like a group chat for the last couple of years now. And I really met some close guys. Like I give my man Dag Nasty, Jason D'Agostino, a shout out because he's a great guy. Frickin' Rodney, like everyone knows Rodney Swift is the man, and he's hilarious. And if you tell him that you love Zack Snyder, he'll give you $5. No, he'll end up probably getting mad at you because he hates the Zack Snyder DC movies. And he's not wrong, because they're freaking terrible, most of them. But he really, really hates them, like to a point where his daily thing is to say, and he'll do the Iron Sheik going, "Fuck the heck, Snyder," and it's really funny. But it's like he's got an obsession. It's his obsession. I don't blame him, because it does suck and say. But then you know, Joe was a part of that. He was a big part of that. Brandon Stevenson, old Brando, he's a but and Albert Bettis, go wrong with him, because he knows a lot about, you know, he's a wrestling expert. But anyway, Joe was a part of that group. He was a funny guy. He posted a lot of stuff, and a real good dude. And so we kind of renamed it Joe's Palace Arena, because definitely not the same. I mean, it's still a great group, and it's fantastic that he's gone. You know, we miss him every day, and you can feel it, and it sucks. But I wanted to plug that group because, you know, I promised I'd do some plugs to myself anyway, not to them, because whatever. But it's a great chat group, and you know, I mean, it kind of spun off all the brothership stuff, and you know, I know there's a couple of those going around, and there's some I'm in, but that's the one I really enjoy.
Yeah. I hate that Joe couldn't make it to the Fan Fest. It was really disappointing, and everybody was looking forward to meeting him. But it probably a bigger disappointment when they got Jason Ward instead. So I'm kidding.
Well, the thing that was really something is that he was so good at hiding it, but you know, he went through some things that, like, you know, any guy would like lose their mind, and it's like, you know, I'm not going to get, you know, his health information out on the podcast or whatever, but let's just say some of the stuff he did with, you know, was like horror movie stuff, and he had to put up some awful things, and all he did is keep smiling and laughing even till the end. And I mean, the last couple of times we did a group thing and a chat and stuff, but unfortunately the last time I saw him, they yanked him to hospice, and we really couldn't figure out where it was, because I was going to, you know, come see him and drop out. We raised some money for him, which you were a big part of, Frankie. Thank you. And I was going to go see him and, you know, take care of that. But unfortunately, they never let us know. And then he just passed away, and it was really sudden and sucky. And I guess that's like.
Well, Mark Hartwick and I were talking about getting up there to see him, and before we could even book flights, he was gone. So, William, it was really good talking to you. Anytime you want to come back on, I'd love to have you. Our dinner just arrived. We got our daughter Mr. Beast burgers.
Ooh.
And so she's excited for that. So thank you so much for talking about the AEW. I look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, it was a good show. I mean, sorry I kind of went on so many tangents, but it was by far the most entertaining show, as far as just because the crowd was electric, but not in the sense of like, it was kind of ECW, which I've been to a couple ECW shows back in the day, but it was very much like more of a brothership thing. I know it's a cliche to use, especially in our what we got, but it really was a brotherhoody type thing. But I'll let you get to eating. I'm sorry, brother.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Good night. Take care.
You got it, brother. I'll see you.
Bye. All right, Ariel, we are back. That was William Meriwether. I can't wait to have a conversation with him again. And I know you didn't listen ahead of time because there's just no way that you could have. But, he does comic book art, which is really cool.
Really? Wow. I didn't know that. Or did I? No, I didn't.
You did not. You did not.
No, I did not. No. Wow. Okay, I got to check it out. I mean, did he plug anything?
No. He didn't. No,
Okay.
but I thought it was really cool. I know you're into the anime and the cosplay and
And the hentai. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yes, the hentai me up. One thing that I did want to talk about was I wish you were on the cruise with us because I did see a lot of people on there that are from the Philippines.
Oh yeah, they work there.
Yeah, that is correct.
I
That
know.
is correct. And I wanted to, every Filipino person I met, I wanted to say, hey, my buddy is, Filipino, and you guys could exchange languages and pleasantries and a different language. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to be that guy.
That is so weird. I don't go up to like every white person and be like, I have a friend who is also Caucasian. It's just
You should. You
should.
should. And you say things like, he lives in Florida. Do you live in Florida? They're like, no,
Yeah.
I live in the Bay Area.
like, oh, never mind.
I mean, what if I was smart enough to remember like your parents' hometown and they also were from that place?
Oh yeah, that's
See, that's the kind of connections I'm talking about. Not just like, oh yeah, you're Filipino. My friend's Filipino. I mean, that's like every drunk white guy at a party, right? It's like, oh, I've got plenty of black friends. Means no, they don't. They used to go to church with African American gentlemen. But no, I think those kind of connections are really cool. And everybody on the cruise ship is really, really, really friendly.
Yeah, how was their hospitality and service?
Amazing. And the
Right?
food was just off the charts. It was fun. The entertainment was great. Jan and I had so much fun. And if you ever have the chance to do a cruise, you definitely should. A lot of good food, a lot of good entertainment, a lot of cool people. We weren't as social as some people were. We did see a person with an upside down pineapple on their shirt.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
No.
It's something to do with swinging.
Oh.
Yeah. And the shirt said, plays well with others.
Okay. Sounds fun.
Yeah. So an upside down pineapple, it could mean that you're a swinger and you're looking for someone to swing with.
What better way to, or what better place than a cruise, right?
Yeah. And it was a guy with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess they were looking for, actually, one of the things that popped up when I Googled upside down pineapple was cruising.
Oh,
Wow.
that might be some like underground secret society of swinging cruise partiers. I don't know.
Yeah. So it says, if you have the upside down, that's how you say, hey, come on in. We're good.
You're going to see all these upside down pineapple shirts at the Legends Fan Fest in November.
Oh, Lord.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, yeah, please. I mean, oh boy. Now I won't be able to get that out of my mind. So, hey, let me just say, if that's what you do, that's cool.
Right.
Hey, I'm not here to kink shame anybody.
No.
And so anyway, and we know there's people in the wrestling business that are that way.
Do you know anybody?
Well,
That's-
there's the one really famous guy that.
Oh yeah,
you
that
know,
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I back in my day, there was a guy that was reported to have been, and I didn't work shows with him, but he was like around my hometown, and it was reported that he and his wife were swingers. And however, they were what you would think of your stereotypical swingers, meaning very heavy and not very attractive.
Oh.
So, so he was getting a deal, whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
And sadly, he's passed.
Oh.
Yep, I saw that. So anyway, that's way to take it down a notch, going from swinging to them passing.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, no, I don't know. I don't know how to transition.
So do you have the TikTok?
I do, but I don't really use it.
Well, that's where Jana and I first saw the upside down pineapple thing,
Well, okay.
and so now we look for it when we're out. So it was like, oh, you'd have a decoration in your house, or you would have a decoration on your door, so that people could come and just knock on the door. Come and knock on my door.
We've been waiting for you.
But I do enjoy the pineapple upside down cake.
It's a swinging cake.
Swinging cake.
I do enjoy a nice pineapple upside down cake also, but it's been years since I've had one.
How
How about
you? Do you like to cook?
Yeah, I do.
But you prefer to DoorDash, right?
If I'm lazy, but
That's my boy.
I love cooking.
Okay, good. Yeah, you should try baking.
Oh no! I tried baking. My sister's the baker in the family. Excuse me. My sister's the baker in the family. She loves baking. She loves measuring out this and that, and I hate measuring. And I'm the type that just put stuff together and see how it goes. But as far as baking is concerned, I don't have the patience nor the aptitude for baking.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you? Can you bake?
I used to back when it was just me, and I had to if I need to feed myself. But now it's no.
Okay.
I do not bake. I will cook Jenna lunch or dinner, whatever I need to help out, and but I do not enjoy it. I'll tell you something that's kind of weird about me.
Okay.
And I've realized this, like, after I've gotten like a life partner, which is only been the last like almost 4 years now, I don't see the need for one person to go in the kitchen while the other person does something else alone. So if she's cooking, I'm in the kitchen with her, either helping her cook or distracting her in the way. So I don't go and do those things. I speak out against having your hobbies that keep you separated. Now, it might work for your relationship, not you, but other people's. If that's what you and your wife have to do to stay together, stay away from each other. But not me. I enjoy to spend time with the wife and kids when the kids are here every other week, and I want to spend time with Jana. I don't want to go, oh, you know what? I'm going to go play some volleyball with the volleyball league, or I'm going to go play softball, and you can go sit in the stands and watch me. I'm just not that way. Jana is my best friend, and I want to do it with her. So if we played softball together, that would be different. Or if we played volleyball together, that would be different. But anyway, that's how I enjoy spending my time with my significant other, is to actually just be with them and doing stuff, and not taking the one-sided approach.
No, that sounds great. I mean, I feel the same way. Excuse me again. That's why my girlfriend and I are a lot alike in a lot of ways. We both love food. We both love eating. We both love cooking. We both love. She loves horror movies. I don't. But we have this little quirk where if we get scared, like during, like a jump scare scene or something, we would get scared and then we would end up laughing at the fact that we got scared in the first place, like it's like silly. So I do that. She does that. I've never met another person that does that also. So I thought that was pretty cool. But including your significant other or just having like those hobbies together that you both enjoy, that's a great thing. I mean, if it strengthens the relationship, that's a great, just doing something you both enjoy. And I hope one day I get to do that with my lady. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm glad that you have you feel that way and that you can incorporate your hobbies with the wifey and everything like that. So that's great.
I'm ready for you too to enjoy this experience.
Yeah, one day, one day for sure.
Well, cool, Ariel. Let's call this the old go homeish. Thank you for making time to talk with me. It was completely unexpected, and here we are at just 30 minutes, maybe one of our shortest times on the phone yet. But I hope that some brother shippers found it enjoyable.
I hope so too. It's been a while, and I loved it.
All right, great, man. Well, get some rest, get ready for some work. I'm going to eat some boneless wings and a little bit of ranch. And so you have a great day, and I'll see you in the Facebook group.
All right, Frankie. Love you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.